So good afternoon, and welcome on behalf of the Wende Museum to this very special event, part of the Aurelio de la Vega Centennial. So I'm Tom Backer. I'm a member of the Wende Museum's Board of Directors and also on the Planning Committee for the de la Vega Centennial. And the Wende is particularly pleased to present this program as part of our current exhibition of the art of Enrique Martínez Celaya, who's with us today, and Anne-Marie will introduce him in a little bit just so he can stand up and say hi to you. I understand that he also was observing his exhibition and people walking through it a little bit earlier today, so you may catch him afterwards if you have a question about it. So we encourage you in that regard to visit the Sextant, his exhibition in our Armory building, if you haven't done so already, and also come and visit our bookstore, where you can find copies of our speaker's biography of Maestro de la Vega. And we encourage you to visit the Aurelio de la Vega website, which presents information about the numerous upcoming events of the Centennial celebration, including a concert at California State University, Northridge on February the 15th. All of us on the planning committee for the de la Vega Centennial celebration are happy to have you join us today for this special concert, and we give thanks to all the people from the Wende team who you've seen running around taking care of last-minute details. That's why these events work so smoothly, because we have a great team to do that. Thank you all. I'm the only non-musician on the Centennial Planning Committee, so I'm particularly grateful to have this opportunity to honor the life and work of my friend for more than 30 years, who did so much to enrich my musical life as a member of the audience. In addition to great performances and conversations, sometimes, and I'm sure there are other people in the house here who had this experience too, a package would show up in the mail, hand-addressed by the maestro, which contained a reprint of some writings of his or some artwork or some kind of commentary on the world of arts and culture that he inhabited in so many different venues. And that tradition continues today. So with that, I'm going to introduce you to Anne-Marie Ketchum de la Vega, who was Aurelio's longtime partner in music and in life, and she will guide you through introductions, tell you a little bit about the program today, and also introduce our speaker, and before too long, our musicians. So, Anne-Marie?
Shorter than Tom. Well, welcome to this event. I am so excited to be here at the Wende Museum, and I want to first of all, thank Tom for all of his tremendous help in putting all this together. He is, I say, when you get older, one of the benefits is that your friends are very talented. There are detriments, of course, but that is anyway. So thank you, Tom, and especially a big thank you to the Wende Museum, not only for putting this together, but for recognizing that it's important to do so, and for the work that you do, shedding light on the truths of the Cold War, and not only how it affected the United States and Europe, but also other places, like Cuba, which was a tremendous effect. And when you study the history a little bit, you understand. Aurelio came from that history, and it infected the entire life of Aurelio. He came from a place where music was mostly salsa, moving the hips. Okay, he always said Cuban women have hinges. Yeah. Anyway, but that's the life that he was in musically, was the popular life. There was, at the time that Aurelio was in Cuba, a very, very rich cultural life that people now have forgotten. And I encourage you to go back and look at that history, because what was going on there historically and artistically was incredible. Some of the great artists, pictorial artists, painters, sculptors, etc., architecture. If you look at the architecture that was being done in the 40s and the 50s there in Cuba, it's phenomenal. Very progressive, very modern, very interesting, very beautiful. The painters that came out of that, the sculptors that came out of all of that. Thankfully, Aurelio was a lover of art and collected quite a bit. And so I have in my house some really beautiful pieces of great Cuban artists. So all of this is part of the history, but it was lost in the most violent way during the time of Castro. And so this is part of what influenced Aurelio for his entire life, as he had to leave. And there are many stories about that, and sometime maybe you'll hear some of those as well. But I also want to say that we are here not just with Aurelio, but also with Enrique Martínez Celaya, who is here with us today. And this, Wende has put us together because there's a great relationship here. Martínez Celaya also came from Cuba. Now, he grew up and lived during the regime, and his experience was different, but a painful one as well. And as if you look back, I don't know if some of you have traveled there or experienced the actuality of Cuba now. It's a difficult place to live. It's still full of culture and still full of music. And dance and art, but a difficult place to live. So I'm pleased to see that these two artists are being presented in the same venue. And a little bit, for those of you who are new today who have not been to see this exhibit, Enrique Martínez Celaya, I'll read this to you, just a sentence, is an artist, author, and a former physicist whose work has been exhibited and collected by major institutions worldwide. There is much more to learn about this man. But most importantly, he grew up there. He experienced it there. And what you will see when you go out to see the exhibit is an example of his thinking, his feeling, his family history. And I encourage you to go out and experience it and think about it and stand there and be with it. I would like to introduce to you Enrique. It's an honor for me to have you here, really. So before we get to the music, a very, very dear friend of mine and a writer, a scholar, a professor, many, many things, Enrico Mario Santi, is going to be telling you a little bit about Aurelio. I'm not sure what he's going to say, but he has a lot to say. I've told him to keep it to 15 minutes, so we'll see what happens. Enrico is a very dear friend of ours. He's also written many, many books on Latin American literature, artists, writers. He is considered the expert on Octavio Paz. He also grew up in Cuba. He is a Cuban American. He is another one who understands what all this means. And in addition to that, was a very, very dear friend of Aurelio's for many, many, many years, and mine as well, and was the best man at our wedding. And so I've asked him to say a few words before we get into the music. And so I will introduce him to you in just a moment. But after Enrico, I have Enrico and Enrique, and I'm getting confused. Okay. After Enrico speaks, I will be introducing pretty much the vocal pieces on the program. Since you do not have translations, I'll give you a hint of what the singers are singing in most cases. But for right now, Enrico Mario Santi, my dear friend.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's event. My name is Enrico Santi, and in case you're wondering, I am not the museum director. I'm also not a musician, not a singer, or even a musicologist. I'm just a friend, a fan of Maestro Aurelio de la Vega's music, and as a friend who once wrote a book with him, I've been asked to say a few words before the performance. But since I lack the professional credentials that could guarantee a musically correct introduction, I have opted instead to stick to my personal link to the maestro and do something different. I have written him a letter, not an email, not a text, but an actual letter. And it goes like this. Dear Aurelio, it's going to be 4 years at the end of next month since we've spoken. And I don't have to say to you that all this time I have missed you. I've missed sharing with you all the news coming out of Cuba, all the gossip coming out of the music world in LA. But above all, I've missed those cherished moments of brotherly love by way of your seemingly endless array of delicious, dirty jokes. Today, I'm writing to you from the Wende Museum, one of the coolest institutions in the West Side. And surprise, in honor of your centennial celebration, the folks here have put together an amazing concert of select chamber music written by you over half a century. 6 pieces ranging from your early Cuban works from the 40s and 50s through those radical experimental pieces you wrote during the 70s in Northridge, and ending with that stunning 1995 song cycle, Canciones Transparentes, based on poems by José Martí, Cuba's national hero. In fact, you'll be pleased to hear that the concert program begins and ends with song cycles based on poems, and not just with the strong mark of Cuba. La Fuente Infinita was your first of many of those song cycles, written in Havana when you were only 19, and based on 3 poems by José Francisco Zamora. But here's something I never got to ask you. What is it with you and poetry? In your canon, I see at least 10 vocal works that use poems by other hands, and a couple, like the 1976 Inflorescencia in today's program, that even use poems written by you. So, I guess you weren't just a composer, right? You wrote music and poetry. Guess that makes you kind of like Frank Sinatra, who used to go, "You'd never know it, but buddy, I'm a kind of poet." And I guess that, like old Blue Eyes, you two had a lot of things you'd like to say. Just like it's not widely known that you were a writer, I don't rightly know that folks are aware of many important details about your biography or your music's connection to your life. The kind that might help situate today's concert, for example. I'm pretty certain they do know about the basic stuff. that you left, or more likely escaped, Cuba in 1959, fleeing the communists, that you settled at CSUN and rose through the ranks to become distinguished professor, that over the course of a 50-year career, you garnered many awards for your music and your teaching. All of that is well known. But I don't think they know the more secret, more internal story that you once told me and that may cast a light on today's program. I am aware, of course, of the official bio in your website put together by you, where you cite Gilbert Chase when he points out the three stylistic periods in your work: 44 to 57, apprentice years in Havana; 57 to 70, beginning with your 12-tone string quartet, through the serialist and aleatory works of the 70s, and the third mature period, 1970 onwards, of major orchestral works that ends with your last years. But today I'm not referring to that official biography or autobiography that is available for public consumption. I mean the other bio you shared with me and that most people don't know about, and that I think is important enough to remind you and your friends about. So, correct me if I'm wrong. You were 34 when you left Cuba, leaving behind family, wealth, and a score of achievements, including a job as dean of a music school. You arrived in LA with nothing, mourning the loss of both past life and motherland. You also knew you couldn't and wouldn't go back. The effect that double loss had, you told me, was profound. In order to settle down and face the future, you had to start from scratch. Put Cuba behind you, done for, laid to rest. Your new American life, in turn, took your music in new directions. Minor pieces and chromaticism gave way to 12-tone and serialization. E-music opened aleatory forms. The change lasted a good 15 to 20 years, but then a gradual shift began to take place. Like an old love, Cuba came back, or rather, you went back to her. Not in body, but in spirit. A spiritual return. Your music changed again, and major works succeeded one after the other. Out of principle, you had always rejected folklore and nationalism as the basis for composition, a quarrel that had first set you apart from mainstream Cuban classical music and earned you an early 12-tone champion, the dubious level of crypto-German. But then, swept by this latest turn, you began to asking yourself, among other technical issues, what if less obvious and yet more basic features of Cuban music, like rhythmic cells, could be used in subliminal, structurally subtle ways? In your first works, you had used those same cells rather obviously, but now you return to them in more conscious, creative ways. And that's why vocal works like Magias e Invenciones, Testimonial, Madrigales de Entonces, or Recordatio, all based, by the way, on works by Cuban poets, emerge steadily during the 80s and 90s, culminating perhaps with the Canciones Transparentes of today's program. And that's also why major orchestral works of this last stage, like Variación del Recuerdo or Adiós, take up fully the themes of nostalgia and national culture. So, I gotta ask you, applying what you shared with me once, did you, Aurelio, channel today's program by choosing two works from your first Cuban period, two from that middle experimental but also mourning stage, and two more from your mature latter-day shift? If you did channel the program, that's quite a spiritual return. I guess there is, after all, and despite all formalist claims, something to be said about the links between life and art, or else, as in your case, between your biography and your music. My teacher, the poet Octavio Paz, used to say, when broaching that very topic, poets have no biography. Their work is their biography. I suppose one could say the same about you, by which I mean, let's forget everything I've said or reminded you about in this letter. Deep down, your biography, everyone's biography, is a fiction, an illusion, a fleeting memory. The real and only biography that counts is your works, your music. Your music, in turn, records a memory that today we can hear not in English, not in Spanish, not even in Cuban, but in a far subtler and more widely available language, the language of music. In closing, let me say this, Maestro. When you left us 4 years ago, almost to the day, we were bereft of your physical presence, left instead with one overwhelming reality, the reality of silence. I doubt that I'll be around for your next centennial celebration. I've no doubt, though, that your music will. Meantime, I want you to know that today, in celebration of your would-be 100-year, we remember you through that same music. And like always, we can't wait to hear you. Un abrazo, Enrico.
So, as I said, I'm going to sort of introduce things as our musicians come out and they can start getting set up. This first piece, as Enrico mentioned, is La Fuente Infinita, the infinite fountain, written when Aurelio was 19 years old. It's interesting to note that this piece was and has been one of the most performed pieces of Aurelio's music throughout all of these years. I sang it many, many times. It is something that is very close to my heart. Our wonderful Shauna Blake Hill sang these songs at our wedding. And the night before Aurelio passed, he asked specifically, he said, there are two things that I want at my funeral. One, I want Shauna Blake Hill to sing La Fuente Infinita. And the other was, I want lots of flowers. So, but just a quick note, and he got both of those things, yes. But just a quick note. Se ama más de una vez. One loves more than once. But the real and true love is one that is pure, pure in the heart. And that's basically what the first song says. The truth of love. The truth of love. Love is the epitome of the best and the most beautiful of good friendship. And it goes on. The third one, invocation. And this is actually a prayer. It's a prayer to God. And most of the song talks about venerating God as you approach speaking to God before you finally come to the question, to the ask, to the wish. And the wish is, make it so that she will always love me. just a quick note as our guitarist is coming out. Our next piece is called Bifloreo. Aurelio wrote, I believe, 2 pieces of music for guitar, both of them incredibly difficult pieces to play. And our guitarist today, wonderful young Brady. I was so excited to find this person because these pieces aren't easy, and this guy grabbed it. And I said, okay, I don't know if we have time for both movements, so we'll probably just do one. And he came for a run through, and he played through the first movement, and he was so amazing. I said, well, can we just hear the second? And he says, yeah, I learned it anyway. He played both movements, and I said, we've got to program this. So, so here's Brady playing the very difficult Bifloreo for guitar. one of the things I love about Aurelio's music is that he takes you on a journey, and you never know quite where you're going to end up. And that happened with Bifloreo on a long, long journey, and he brings you back to something familiar, and then he takes you away again. And you never know where it's going to happen, and then he brings you back. One thing, I'm going to give you a little bit of the poetry of this next piece and a little bit of background. But one thing it might be interesting for you to note, there is a signature rhythm that Aurelio uses. And it's in, I believe, every single one of his pieces. And it is ba, 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 ba. Listen for it, you'll hear it. Sometimes it's obscure, sometimes it's right there. It came in a couple of times in Bifloreo, and you will hear it in this next piece. This next piece is an interesting thing. This is from the 70s. This is for soprano bass clarinet and electronic sounds. Now, Aurelio was the head of the electronic music lab at Cal State Northridge for many years. And at that time, a lot of new music was being written for electronic sounds. This is a piece that he wrote on a poem of his own, Inflorescencia. I'm going to give you a little bit of this poem. It is, I think, autobiographical. It is the story of an immigrant, but in this case, the immigrant is a gardenia. In foreign lands of new acidity, of surprising dryness, the gardenia awoke after an inexplicably immense trip. She's landed in California. She left the Caribbean and the emerald beaches and reappeared between cypresses and pines to go on living. Ferocious people with new creeds killed down there in mid-Gulf, killed traditions, remembrances, and perfumes of before. She felt her poor leaves covered by a different dirty air, smog. Saw heavens without blue and afternoons without explosive sunsets, and thought again that she would slowly enter the silence of death. But so much gracious water was poured on her by her old masters, so many sways of love and tenderness, that she felt renewed sap running through her veins and started to believe again in a world of possible life. Here, there were no remembered royal palms, nor mango flowers, nor perfumes of night jasmines, but neither were there cries of vengeance, nor pounding of military boots, nor the roar of tanks stomping the earth. And one March day, just in case her remembrances would be erased by the long time, just in case the edge of death would find her in these fields, she wanted to underline with the color of geraniums and the perfume of other roses a new cry of life. And from within her entrails sprouted explosively, vividly, limpidly, immensely white, a flower bigger than the ones from before. And with a new smile submerging her heart under butterflies and daffodils, thanked this heaven filled of orange blossoms. She put her soul forward, full of faith, of ardor, of glory, and caressed the dawn with new birds and felt free, reborn, sliding over an ample path, purer than ever within her new-found happiness. Inflorescencia. Tour de force, I think, yes. So the next piece that we're going to hear also comes from the early years of Aurelio's writing. This is Leyenda del Ariel Criollo for piano and cello. Listen again for that theme that you will hear, that rhythm, because it's in every single piece. You'll hear it in this as well. And this is another piece where you hear something you kind of latch onto, and then Aurelio takes you off on some other journey and then brings you back to something you might recognize, etc. One thing to mention as they're setting up, when Aurelio was in Cuba, and as a young man, as a young composer, he rejected the whole idea of nationalistic composing. He wanted to go off on his own, and he really followed pretty much the German school at the time of composition of Schoenberg and Webern and Berg, etc. Actually, the reason he first came to Los Angeles was to study with Schoenberg, which lasted a short period of time because they had a tremendous falling out, and that's a great story. Anyway. But so this is what he wanted to do, but all the way through all of his music, you will always hear a bit of Cubanness because it's in him. He always said, I don't write Cuban music, I am Cuban, so it is Cuban music. So here's Leyenda del Ariel Criollo. So the next piece requires a little explanation. And I have to apologize. I forgot to bring something that I wanted to show you. As I said before, Aurelio was a great lover of art, but he also created some of his own, some drawings. And during the 70s, we go back to the 70s now, he did what we now recognize as the 7 graphic scores. And if you look on his website, you will see pictures of each of these. These are pieces of music, but they are actually artistic pieces. They are bits and pieces of music arranged on the page and colored, and quite beautiful. As a matter of fact, a number of years ago, the Library of Congress took one of those and used them in one of their calendars that they have throughout, various years. And this was a calendar showing graphic or interesting scores from composers throughout history. And they used the Magic Labyrinth, one of Aurelio's graphic scores, for this. Anyway, so these are pieces in which he would say on the score, this could be played by any number of instruments or voices. You can read the lines going forward or backward, or any way you want. Okay, so it's basically, it was, I think, intended at first to be visual pieces, but then people wanted to perform them, and Aurelio thought that was kind of a good idea. So he came up with a new way, and he wrote what he called the roadmap for what to do with these pieces. And so I'm going to do one of these pieces with Wende. It's largely improvisational, but as you can see, Aurelio's pretty specific in what he told us to do. I mean, it doesn't look like a normal score, does it? And when you hear it, you'll realize that it's not a normal score. And it's mixed with all kinds of crazy things. So I invite you to open your minds a little bit. And we'll see where this goes. I have to see.
And it's different every time.
It's different every time. And now for something legitimate. Actually, okay, now you kind of get the comedy of Aurelio. That was who he was. All of the rest of this is who he was. So the last piece that we're going to give to you today, Canciones Transparentes, piece really near to my heart. I performed this many times, and with Wendy Prober, we recorded it with the Clarbo Ensemble, and it's a special set of songs. So I'm going to give you a little bit about what these poems are all about. The first one, these are, as Enrico Santi said, these poems are by José Martí, who is the patron saint of Cuba. He was the one who led the revolution from Spain. He was also a great poet. And Aurelio took these poems and took them to heart and made this beautiful song cycle. So the first one is from a set of poems called versos sencillos, or simple verses. And this one, the first one basically says, if you see, I'll give you the first verse, if you see a hill of foam, it is my poetry that you see. My poetry is a mountain and is also a feather fan. My poems are like a dagger sprouting flowers from the hilt. My poetry is like a fountain sprinkling streams of coral water. It goes on. This is poetry. The second one is kind of a little story. It says, "What is love?" And it says, "According to legend, a wise man arrived one day at a cemetery asserting that no mystery existed beyond the grave. A white, nebulous, and serious being approached the tomb and said in a sad, whining voice the words, 'Love, love.' The sepulchre's stone instantly shifted, and the corpse swiftly came back to life." So I guess there is something there, right, Aurelio? Yeah. The third one is, I think, the most serious of all three, and something that is quite moving, I think. Two motherlands. It says, "Two motherlands I have, Cuba and the night." Remember, this is written by Jose Marti, long, long time ago. But it holds true today for all of those Cubans who had to leave, who came here for a different life. It says, "I see Cuba done up with long veils like a widow. I know well what the blood-stained carnation in her hand means. Empty is my chest, shattered and void where the heart was before. It is already time to begin dying. Night is befitting for saying goodbye. Light and human words are not necessary. The universe speaks better than man, like a flag calling to battle. The red flame of the candle flutters. Feeling enclosed, I open the windows, mute, tearing the carnation's petals like a cloud darkening the heavens. Cuba, widowed, passes by. I feel the kick of the horses. I feel the wheels of the wagons. The pieces of myself I touch. I am not alive anymore. Neither was I when the fatal ship weighed anchor and tore me away from my homeland." The fourth one is from a set of poems that he wrote for his son. And it talks of a child. "Day and night I always dream with open eyes, and on top of the foaming waves of the white turbulent sea and on the rolling desert sands, and merrily riding on a gentle neck of a mighty lion, monarch of my heart, I always see a floating child who is calling me." Now, the last one is probably the most well-known poem of Jose Marti, and most Cubans know this poem. It is, "I cultivate a white rose, cultivo una rosa blanca." It is the reason why the white rose has been a symbol for Cubans for all of these many, many years of a deep friendship and of the challenges of friendship. And it says, "I cultivate a white rose in January as in July for the sincere friend who extends me his loyal hand, and for the scoundrel who tears away the heart with which I live. I till neither gruds or thistles. I cultivate a white rose."